All right, sorry. Okay, everyone, good afternoon, and thank you for coming to our webinar. So right now, we will have this webinar from 3 until 4:30, and we will have like starting with our speaker first with Priscilla from Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia, and our recruitment. She will share about the campus, and then we'll continue with Pak Edi, who will explain about the cybersecurity careers. And we will have our rector with Pak Greg Barton. He will also share about what is the cybersecurity careers and also interact with our campus here. So before that, we are going to go to Sila first for the presentation, and then for the Q&A will be at the end. Or you can just write your Q&A on the chat box, and please use your name, full name. For the letter, we will send the certificate to you after the event. Okay, thank you. I will give it to you, Sila. Please start.
Okay, so thank you, Bumu, for the warm welcoming. So, hi, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Please relax. So, I just don't want to make this webinar to look too formal, but hopefully, you guys that joining our webinar today will get a lot of new things about the cybersecurity and about how your career is gonna be in cyber security in the future. But before we start the webinar, I just maybe want to make sure that everyone is with us now. Maybe if to making it more crowd, maybe everyone can giving some reactions. Is it we can see? Ah, hi. Okay. Please can you give it the reaction? Hi, hello everyone. Since we cannot see you guys. Okay. Hi. Thank you for the love for us in Deakin Lancaster. So hi, hello everyone. Okay, so everyone already giving their reaction. So hopefully you guys will be enjoying our webinar today. And thank you for coming. And maybe I will start to introducing a little bit about Deakin Lancaster since maybe you guys maybe this is the first time you guys hear about Deakin Lancaster, Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia. So hopefully the information that I will share to you guys will be really useful and hoping that this information can giving you guys know more about us. Okay, then we start. Okay, so first of all, uh, okay, Shiva, can you do the next one? Yeah. Okay, so the first one is maybe when you guys hear about Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia, maybe you guys don't know yet where we are at, since maybe you guys thinking maybe in Jakarta or maybe in another city in Indonesia, but actually Deakin University and Lancaster University is located in Bandung. Maybe some of you guys coming from outside of Bandung, maybe you guys can give me some reaction if you guys coming outside of Bandung. Is there some of you here? Ah, okay. There is someone of the attendees here coming from outside of Bandung. Okay, so hopefully if you guys coming to Bandung, please visit us. Actually, we are in Jalan Muhammad Toha, no, number 77. So maybe if you guys coming to Bandung, having holiday here, you can visit us and see our campus directly. Okay, the next one. Okay, so actually, if you guys have ever heard about Bandung, Bandung is really a beautiful and interesting city. We have a lot of good place, good food, and a really friendly person here. So hopefully, you guys, when you're coming to Bandung, you can take Whoosh. Maybe if you have ever heard about the high-speed train in Indonesia, the first one is from Jakarta to Bandung. So maybe if you guys want to come into Bandung, actually, Bandung have a lot of easy public transport if you wanna coming to our campus here in Bandung. Okay. Okay, next, Shiva. Okay, so maybe this is just some recommendation if you guys want to come to Bandung. Actually, Bandung have a lot of tourist place that you can visit. With a really beautiful scenery, and then there's a lot of good food here. And actually, the weather is really good here. It is pretty cold in here actually. So yeah, if you may be coming from Jakarta or Jabodetabek area, yeah, you will feel really refreshed in Bandung actually. Okay, next one. Okay, so actually, I just want to give some information. Maybe some of you here still in grade 12, maybe then want to join with us in Deakin Lancaster. So maybe this is the reason why you choose Deakin Lancaster Indonesia. So actually, Deakin University and Lancaster University is top 200 top university in the world, and then we already have some campus in some country too. Actually, so Indonesia is not the first country that we open. We already have some countries that we have the campus, but actually Deakin University and Lancaster University now doing a collaboration and open in Indonesia. Okay, next one. Okay, and actually, what's the other benefit, or maybe if you guys want to get another experience when you're joined with Deakin and Lancaster Indonesia, is in our third year, you can choose if you want to go to our campus in Aussie or maybe in UK for Lancaster. You can go to both of university for 6 months, both each one for 6 months, but still with the Indonesia campus tuition fee. So it's really good news for all of you guys, maybe here still grade 12. So if you still want to experience to going to study exchange with us, you still can get that actually here in Deakin Lancaster, Indonesia. Okay, next one. Okay, next, Sylvia. Okay, actually, we have some of alumni that maybe you guys know. This is one of Indonesian alumni from Deakin. It's Adina Kresela. Actually, she is tourism. Oh, yeah, pretty active in tourism, and actually, she is alumni from Deakin too. Actually, yeah. Okay, so now I will introduce you about our major here in Deakin University and Lancaster University, Indonesia. So now we have a business dual degree. So if you join with us here in our campus, you're just not getting a single degree, but you will get dual degree. So one from Deakin and one from Lancaster. And then for the business, actually we have three choices. We have the business analytic, we have the business management, and we do have the accounting and finance. Yeah, so these three major actually really having a really good future career if you guys maybe want to have career in Indonesia or maybe in international industry. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so actually for the quality of our both of university from Lancaster or Deakin, actually we have already get a lot of accreditation from both countries, so you guys don't have to worry. Our business school is one of the top business school both country and as an international actually. Okay, next one. Okay, so for all of you guys, maybe here in still high school or maybe grade 12, maybe you guys kind of confused what of the career outcome that you will choose after you graduate from us. So maybe you can take a picture of it, of this one for the career outcome. So actually, you don't have to worry. Business have a lot of opportunity here in Indonesia or maybe in insurance industry too. Okay, next one. Okay, so the second one, we have the computing dual degree. So maybe if you guys really interested in IT or maybe the IT nerd here that joining us today, so you guys can choose here that we have the computer science and the cyber security. So for the computer science, you will graduate with us with the Bachelor of Computer Science and Bachelor of Computer Science, and for the cyber security you will graduate with the Bachelor of Cybersecurity and Bachelor Honor for Computer Science. Okay, next one. Okay, so for for the Lancaster Uni and for the Deakin Uni, both already get the accreditation too in their each of their country actually. So you guys don't have to worry. Actually, Lancaster and Deakin have a lot of collaboration with the government too to building a lot of good program for the cybersecurity and the computer science. So when you guys joining with us for the computer science, actually you guys join with one of the top computer science schools with us in Lancaster and Deakin too, actually. Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay. Okay, so this is one of the current outcome that maybe our speaker today, Pak Greg and Pak Edi, maybe will be discussing too. So maybe you guys want to know more about the current outcome as a computing degrees. Please asking more about this to Pak Greg and Pak Edi as our speaker today, since they will giving a lot of insight and information about the future career for the computing degree. Since in Indonesia and in international industry, IT still have a really good career ahead actually. So hopefully you guys will get a lot of information about the career outcome for the computing degrees here in our webinar. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Okay, so actually, this is one of the campus fallacy that we have in Bandung. So since maybe if you guys want to visit, please come to our campus. As you can see here, we have the Cafe Braga area, we have the consultation room, and then yeah, next one we have the cyber security lab. And maybe as you can see as our background here, as my background too. Actually, this is our cybersecurity lab. So maybe if you guys will be one of our student here, you will be using this lab often actually. Okay, next one. Yeah. Okay, this is our student lounge, and then we have the lecture hall, and then okay, next one, Shiva. Yeah, next one. Okay, we have the meeting room in our second floor, and then we have the library, and then yeah, okay. Yeah, and this is our tutorial room. Actually, maybe we can calling it as our business lab. So we have 6 TV screen here, then maybe from our business student can using it for the maybe doing the presentation or maybe making the business plan here in our tutorial room. Okay, next. Okay, this is our classroom. And then this is the other facility that you guys can use, or maybe you need to going to the pharmacy, maybe medical clinic and at time gallery. Actually, it's still around our campus. So you guys don't have to walk really, or maybe if you want to find like the pharmacy or medical clinic, you just have to walk actually. Yeah. Next one, Shiva. Okay, so actually this is for the grade 12. Maybe I just want to check, is it everyone, is it one of the attendees here is a grade 12? Maybe you guys can give a reaction. I just want to know, is there anyone here the grade 12? Okay, all right. Okay, so there is one of you guys here is a grade 12. So it's really a useful information that I will share to you guys here. So we have a good news for you for the grade 12. We have with the Deakin University and Lancaster University still have the early bird scholarship. And the scholarship, it will be up to 100% scholarship. So it's really big one. And then yeah. And then for next. Okay, so maybe if you guys hear that one wanted to apply to our scholarship, please take attention with the scholarship requirements. So the requirements that we need if you guys want to apply for our early bird scholarship, it's just for the report card. So just make sure that your report card average it's 85 from grade 10 until 11. And then if you're winning some competition, or maybe like academic or non-academic in national or international competition, you can submit it to us too, since it can help to improving your scholarship number. And then the IELTS score for business is 6.5 and computing is 6.0. Yeah, so if you guys already meet all these requirements, you can apply to our scholarship as soon as possible, since it's a limited quota for this scholarship, since it's a scholarship that you will get is until 100% scholarship. So it's one of the biggest scholarship that we can give to you guys. So it's we have a quota for it. So if you guys wanna join with us, please you can contact me. Yeah. Okay. Next, Shiva. Okay, so oh yeah, but before I'm gonna giving my phone number to you guys to maybe you guys wanna ask more about Deakin Uni and Lancaster Uni in Indonesia. Maybe this is just a little bit of information for you guys to compare. Maybe if you have plan to going to Aussie or UK and wanna see the tuition fee, we giving some information that if you guys taking your degree with us and you will get the dual degree with DLI. But if you're going to maybe to Aussie or UK or maybe going to Deakin or Lancaster directly to our home campus and just gonna getting single degree, this is the tuition fee that you will be charged. So as you can see here, the difference really big one. So maybe this information can help you guys to think about it again. If you guys want to go to Aussie or UK, I think it's better you guys can join with us in DLI since the tuition fee is much more approachable, guys. So if you guys want to join with us, please join with our scholarship still, since it's still available for all the grade 12. Okay, so maybe if you guys want to discuss more or maybe wanna ask more about Deakin Lancaster, about the scholarship, or maybe you want to know more about us, please don't hesitate to contact me. Here's my number, so you guys can take a picture from it, or maybe just wanna writing it down. This is my number. You can WhatsApp me. Yeah, so don't hesitate to ask me more about Deakin Lancaster Uni in Indonesia. Okay, I think that's all for today. Since my time is limited here, so if you want to discuss more about Deakin Lancaster, please reach me out with my number that already in your screen. Okay, I think that's all that I can share about Deakin Lancaster. I will giving it back to Miss Omu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sila. Thank you. That is all about Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia. So everyone, if there is some question, you can just drop on chat right now about the DLI. But we will give it to our moderator to Ibu Ade for guide us for the webinar. First will be Pak Edi about the cybersecurity career in the digital age. So Pak Edi, I will give it to you,
Uh, I think
and
it
then Pak
will.
Edi.
I think it will be me. It will be me first. I'm going to introduce Pak.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Okay.
Sure.
So our first speaker will be Dr. Sofyan Bian Imam, so engineer, and he graduated from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, Victoria. And Pak Edi is currently a lecturer. He is a lecturer for the Deakin College, Jakarta. Lecturer at Swiss German University, a lecturer at Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Kerdigantaraan Yogyakarta. And not only that, Pak Edi is also a business professional. He is the founder of Aerospace Digital Indonesia. And Pak Edi has also been heavily involved in many researches related to rockets and missiles. Currently, Pak Edi is also a lecturer at Deakin University, Lancaster University for the foundation program. And today, as you can see, Paidi is going to talk about cybersecurity, career in the digital age. So Paidi, without further ado, the Zoom is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much, Bade. Hello, everyone. It's a nice opportunity to be able to talk to you. I don't know how much you know anything about cybersecurity, how deep you know about cybersecurity, but anyway, hopefully I can just give you a slide description about the career in the area of cybersecurity. Any one of you involved in well, you know much about cybersecurity? Any response? Just in case. Okay, good. So few of you already know about cybersecurity. Okay. Well, most of you maybe don't know much about cybersecurity. I'll just go through it a little bit about what you're going to be doing when you finish your graduate or when you are doing the degree. Yeah. Thanks. So why do you think cybersecurity is a very important subject? Yeah. And why do you think this is a good career? Yeah. And then we'll see about what kind of prospect and technology you will be working, once you finish your study. So when you look at the news, you see the news. Yeah, for the last couple of years in Indonesia, more, we have a rising threat. Every aspect of our life, every department, every companies, they have problems because the cybersecurity, what we are doing is taking care of the data. So sometimes data is much more expensive than the other assets, than the buildings, than the human. So we have to protect the data. So basically what the cybersecurity people are doing, professions are doing, is taking care of the data because it's so precious. So if you look at the past few years, incidents in Indonesia, BPJS, about health, national health security data has been breached. Personal data about 279 million Indonesian has been leaked. That's a major security. But it's not only in Indonesia. All over the countries. If you go to the United States, you go to Europe, you go to Australia. So it is a problem all over the world because we all handling much more data and it's much more important nowadays. Look at another problem, Tokopedia has also been breached. Yeah. Lessons from all of this, we have vulnerabilities, yeah, in online world. So because we are doing more and more transaction on the online, on the digital world, therefore we have these problems. And problems can be seen as good or bad, yeah. For those who know the solution for the problem, it's a good opportunity. So I hope most of you will see this as a problem, but not in a bad way, in a good way. It's a good opportunity for you to learn how to solve this problem. So therefore, you can see it is a good career for all of you. Next. Okay. So we heard also a ransomware attack, yeah, very recently. And also in KPU, when we had a general elections a few months ago, there are also lots of leaks. Yeah. So this is, in a way, opportunity for you to be able to handle these problems. Once again, if you can solve the opportunity, that is the source of your income, the source of your career. Okay, so you can see that in whole, we have lots of opportunities regarding the cyber problems. Therefore, you can handle all this as a good solution later on. Next. So these incidents show why cybersecurity is very, very crucial in Indonesia digital age. But once again, it is not only Indonesia, it's all over the world. This is just one of the cases, because most of you maybe live in Indonesia. Therefore, here also there's a lot of opportunity for us, because there are many, many problems that you need to be handled. Next. So let's just give you a little definition. What is cybersecurity? Yeah. So cybersecurity is just protecting. Yeah, protecting assets. It can be protecting a system. It can be protecting a network or data. So it's something that is valuable that we need to protect. Because if we lose it, we lose the thing that we appreciate more. So in real world, what this means is one of your activities will be stopping ransomware, for example, yeah, preventing phishing attack, scams, and securing data for companies or individuals or maybe the country. Yeah. So very important job. I think it's very precious job that you'll be doing. Next. So that is what cybersecurity is. Basically like a policeman who's taking care of the assets or the data. So why cybersecurity is very important? As you mentioned, we know earlier that we are heading into a digital world. That's one. Yeah. Maybe just recently we have AI. So it's no more than 2 years. Yeah, it's very new technology. So when we have AI, we have more and more problems regarding the data. Therefore, you as a cybersecurity profession, you will have more opportunity, you will have more problems to handle. And the second technology that we'll be heading is the quantum computing. Computers are becoming more and more powerful. Therefore, as you mentioned again, that if we have any, let's say we have a password, it can be easily cracked with this powerful computing. Therefore, the approach to the cybersecurity will be also a different. For those who will be doing cybersecurity, you'll be doing something different than 3 or 4 years ago. Because what? The hardware is different. Because we have AI. We did not have AI when I was doing cyber. We did not have AI. It's only the last couple of years. Therefore, the way you approach to handle all the problem with the data, it's different. Okay, so these are the two technologies that will change how you handle cybersecurity. And the last thing that we notice is space technology. Yeah, we've seen just, I think 3-4 days ago, Elon Musk has just launched a rocket that will take human to become an interplanetary species. What does that mean? Yeah, we are in 2 to 3 to 4 years, we might expand, yeah, our civilization, not only on Earth, we go to space. Space can be orbits, and can be moon, can be Mars. Therefore, there's going to be lots and lots data transaction within Earth, within space. So the work for cybersecurity is enormous. Yeah. So this three technology is very crucial for all of you who will be doing cybersecurity, that you need to learn much, much more than the other guy who done cybersecurity 3 or 4 years ago. So you will be at the edge. You will be someone who will be needed by the country, by the companies, all over the world. Yeah. So therefore, you have to prepare yourself for the career in hand. Next. So what career are we looking at in the next, let's say 5 years, when you graduate in 5 years? Yeah. So as we mentioned before, cybersecurity is a top career choice for all of you. And fortunately, we also have a degree in computing business. These are the two best marriage. Yeah, computing is the fastest growing technology. Business, because everything we were doing here is making money. Yeah, so it is cybersecurity is a very high demand. We have more and more breach. We have more and more problems. And then we have lots of roles for cybersecurity. Security is not, we are not talking just about hacking, coding, because that's only count about 10 to 15%. The remaining is just how you handle the data. Yeah, it's more about your character. So the salary is also very promising. Yeah, and it's a great business and investment. Next. So let's have a look at some example that you might be looking when you finish your graduate. So what does career mean in cybersecurity? Yeah, career mean is not only looking for a job. So job are only one of them. Yeah, so it's basically you want to have an income, a good income, yeah, from the cybersecurity. So one way of doing it, obviously, you look for a job or career or profession, as we normally do. But there's another two things that can make you also as a source of income. You can create your own business in cybersecurity, yeah, or you can make an investment in cybersecurity. So there are three major ways for you to make a career in cybersecurity. Next, so let's have a look at some examples. Okay, so these people are those who obviously they were living 5 to 10 years ago in cybersecurity. The cybersecurity are changing very rapidly. But these two guys, Kevin Mitnick, yeah, and Kathy Mesuri, is an example, some of example, a professional in the cybersecurity. They know what they do, they have a skill, they make money. Yeah, so that might be some inspiration to you. So you can have a similar job as what they do. So they go all over the world and speaks about how to solve some of the problem in the cybersecurity. So you might want to be able to do that later also one day. So you talk about how do I solve, what I say, ransomware, for example. How do I solve a breach into the network? So you might talk in many different cities in Indonesia, or you may go into go to Europe, go to Australia, go all over the place in the world. Talk about your profession. That's one way of you to become a professional job in cybersecurity. Next. Okay, another way. So maybe some of you like businesses. Or I want to have my own business. I want to have a startup. That's okay. That's also another way of you making an income from cybersecurity. So these are some example. CrowdStrike, yeah, it's a company that helps. So you are, as a company, helping another company to become protected. Many companies need protection. Some of them not aware that they need protection. So CrowdStrike is another example of successful company. Or Palo Alto also, they make hardware. So this is not only software, so they can make hardware, for example, firewall like this. So they create hardware, they sell that. Yeah, so basically that's the same. You will learn how to do that when you do the degree. Next. So I'm just talking about some example that you might see all around the world or Indonesia. How do they make a career in cybersecurity? So these are also investment. Yeah, so you can become an investor or you invest in cybersecurity entities. Yeah, like Cisco buy Duo, so you can create a Duo startup and then you sell it into a bigger company, or Sentinel One. Yeah, so you learn all this in school when you are doing cybersecurity. Next. I just mentioned here some of Indonesian youngs who are successful in making their career. So here cerita di balik kesuksesan Rani Padiani, yeah, she's been very successful in creating her own business in cybersecurity. There's also dua remaja, two teenagers from Indonesia, Alessandro dan Muzakir. Yeah, they've been appreciated to work in big companies like Google, Microsoft. Yeah, there's also a youngster in Indonesia. They also have an investment in cybersecurity. So there are many ways for you to create an income. I think there's a lot of other example you might want to dig in later on. It is a very promising career in Indonesia, and as an international profession also, you can go all over the world and just help other companies, help other people out there with the bridge. Next. So again here, Evan Noor is the CEO, yeah, of PT Synexis in Indonesia International. She became the founder of a company who are taking care of the cybersecurity of many Indonesian companies. Also, Gojek, yeah, has gone into cybersecurity investment as well. So you're looking at many different ways of creating a career in cybersecurity. Next. So maybe later on we can go into more detail about all these examples. So in all career paths in cybersecurity, you can become a penetration tester. So if you like hacking, yeah, so you can be a white hacker. You will be paid for doing that. Yeah? You can be a cybersecurity analyst. You analyze a problem, then you propose a solution. You can be a forensic, just like a CIA. Yeah, you find a problem, find why it happened like that, and then find again the solution. So there are many pathways, yeah, in the different fields of cybersecurity. Next. So when you're doing cybersecurity, you will be learning many things, yeah, just like any other degree. But particularly for cybersecurity, you learn some of this. You obviously gonna need to be able to do programming, yeah, such as Python. Yeah. You're also mostly gonna learn networking, because most of the data will be on the online. And then you will learn all the tools to monitor the data, yeah, like Wireshark and Linux. And obviously, you're going to be learning AI and quantum computing, because that is the future of cybersecurity. So apart from those, you also be learning other soft skill, problem solving, critical thinking. It will be very useful in any other unit as well. Yeah. Next. Okay. So, cybersecurity is the career of the future. It is the future because the future is going to be lots of digital ages. Yeah. And it's with the coming of the new technology, you will be lots and lots of work handling and taking care of the data. So it is not only protecting the data, but you also protecting lives and protecting innovation. Next. So for those who are actually interested in doing cybersecurity, good luck. I think you have a good future, and then you'll be having a great career in the future. So the digital world is growing. With the right skill and education, you can be the one securing the future. You can be the one who will be making the world a better place, obviously. So in all, yeah, good luck with your career in the future. So I guarantee you it is the best decision that you made for pursuing in this cybersecurity world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pak Edi. Pak Edi, that was quite an interesting presentation. So yes, things are not looking good in the world because of the rising threats in cybersecurity. But at the same time, this opens up opportunities, career opportunities, and also, as well as business opportunities. I'm going to continue to the next speaker, Professor Greg Barton. I'm going to read out his bio first. Pak Greg Barton is Rector of Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia, here in Bandung, Indonesia. Prior to that, he was research professor in global Islamic politics in the Alfred Deakin Institute for Citizenship and Globalization at Deakin University, when since August 2015, he led research on Islam and civil society, democratization, and countering violent extremism, or CVE. From 2007 to 2015, he was the fifth professor at Monash University, where he led research on radicalization in the Global Terrorism Research Center. He is senior fellow with the UAE-based Hidayah Center in Abu Dhabi, working on CVE, and adjunct professor in the School of Global and Strategic Studies, University of Indonesia. Since 2016, he has led the Australian Department of Home Affairs Southeast Asian Network of civil society organizations working together against extremism. He has researched and published extensively on Indonesian religion, politics, and society. So I guess that was very extensive experience from Professor Greg Barton. So, Pak Greg Barton, can you please start your presentation? The Zoom is yours.
Thank you very much, Bu Ade. I have a lot of slides here. We'll go through them very quickly. Do you want me to share my screen or just I'll ask for the screen to be?
You can ask Sifa to actually
Okay. So
go
next
through the
screen, please,
presentation.
Shifa.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have the presentation up? Good. Next slide, please. Okay, I want to talk about cybersecurity at Deakin Lancaster University, Indonesia. But I think it's important to, I mean, because we're not starting our year until September this year, so we're a brand new startup. We'll start with a small cohort. We're appointing academic staff now, but the key thing is that we're anchored in Deakin University in Australia and Lancaster University in England, and we're bringing the curriculum that both universities have developed. That's why they can award dual degrees from Lancaster and Deakin. So I want to talk about what Deakin is doing in terms of its cybersecurity degree, what sort of research it's doing that backs up that teaching, then also what sort of research is done at Lancaster in terms of cybersecurity, just to give you a sense of the depth, the foundations that support what we are going to be doing at DLI in Bandung, because our whole philosophy in coming to Bandung is that we're making international education accessible, both in its location and also, as we've been discussing, as Sila discussed, in terms of price. We certainly want to encourage you to go to Lancaster University or Deakin University in the future, but we're suggesting why not do your undergraduate degree here in Bandung, and then later on perhaps do a master's or PhD abroad. And of course, even in your second year, you'll be going to Lancaster or going to Deakin, perhaps to both. You can do 2 semesters abroad. So let me talk about what Deakin in Australia is doing. So it has long established a cybersecurity program because there's a strong demand, as Eddie was saying. There's a lot of growth in this area. Next slide. Uh, when we teach cybersecurity at DLI in Bandung, as at Deakin, as at Lancaster, it's part of an approach that's based on computer science. Um, People who research in this area come from many different disciplines, but our teaching comes out of computer science. Next slide, please. So in the context of Deakin, cybersecurity sits in a whole raft of possible choices. We're starting off this year in Bandung with 3 business degree offerings, computer science degree offering, and a cybersecurity offering. But the roots go into these existing programs, and I'll come at the end of the presentation to the modules, the units that make up our degree at DLI. Next slide. Uh, Perhaps in time we'll also pick up this approach to doing combined degrees, but the point is there's a lot of depth at Deakin, also at Lancaster, informing cybersecurity, not just from the technical computer science point of view, but also from criminology, from law, from studying our society and politics. Next slide, please. In terms of employability, as Eddie was saying, there's great demand in the industry for people with cybersecurity skills. One of the unique things that happens at Deakin in Melbourne and Geelong and at Lancaster is that cybersecurity is taught both at undergraduate level and at postgraduate level. So we're bringing cybersecurity in Bandung at DLI at undergraduate level as part of your undergraduate degree in English. So that's I think a unique offering in the Indonesian context. Next slide. And as with Deakin and with Lancaster, our whole approach to teaching is embedded in industry engagement, particularly in the third year. As Paketi was saying, there's a whole range of possible career paths. People don't necessarily go on to a job that's narrowly defined in terms of cybersecurity. It can be plugging into a range of other allied information technology careers. Next slide. So our philosophy at Deakin and also at Lancaster, and hence at Deakin, Lancaster, Indonesia, is to get you ready for your life in industry, to have the technical skills, but also the critical thinking skills, and to be able to work in a applied, hands-on way from your very first week of employment because of the industry placement you've been doing. Next slide. Uh, when we developed the program at DLI in Bandung, we're drawing on what's being done at Deakin and at Lancaster. And so we're drawing on the engagement with industry, with tailored learning paths, and we benefit from the professional recognition both in Australia and in the UK. And your degrees are both Lancaster and Deakin degrees, so you have recognition of the um, uh, industry professional associations in both Australia and UK. Next slide. So the offering at Deakin that most resembles what we're doing in DLI, in fact, this is the basis of our DLI offering, is the Bachelor of Cybersecurity. So many places teach cybersecurity as a postgraduate component, but we're teaching it at bachelor and also in Deakin and Lancaster at postgraduate level. Next. So it prepares graduates very broadly to engage in a growing problem of criminality, whether it's people just directly trying to get money by penetrating databases and selling the information, or doing more sophisticated penetrations that really can be very insidious in the way they damage industries. Next slide. Uh, this is an area that doesn't just affect big corporations, it affects everything that we do. All of our daily lives depend upon passwords, it depends upon home networks, increasingly our vehicles, our identities. If these are not secure, our life can become a mess. Next slide. So we're dealing with a growing range of challenges, but Eddie mentioned that AI, which in the form of Gen AI is relatively new, presents a whole level of challenge, whether it's on the technical side or whether it's on what is another element of cybersecurity, which is sort of human weakness to so-called human engineering, to persuading people to give up information. Next slide. And that means that in terms of career outcomes, you can be working in a very technical way, like an IT security engineer or a programmer or a manager, or you can be dealing in a way that is involves a cross-disciplinary range of expertise. Uh, every significant company, including small companies around the world, will require people with uh, different amounts of skill and expertise in these areas. It's not going to be an option that people can avoid to take. Cybersecurity is going to be already a compulsory element of what we're doing if we wish to be safe and keep our businesses safe. Next slide. Uh, so this is our 3-year degree at Deakin. We're doing fairly much the same thing at DLI. We're taking a combination of Deakin units and Lancaster modules. The result is an exact reproduction of what these two universities are doing. Next slide. And this means a direct link into the research program and the industry engagement that both of these universities are doing. Next slide. Deakin has, as Lancaster, a dedicated cybersecurity research center. So at Deakin, it's the Deakin Cyber Research and Innovation Center. Next slide. And it's very much engaged with industry. Its research is very industry focused, and that benefits what we are going to be doing in Bandung. Next slide. It's multidisciplinary, so many of the people in this research area are not computer scientists. They come from other disciplines like criminology or even politics or business. And at Deakin and at Lancaster, we have cutting edge facilities, which means that people can train in the university setting. And that will be directly benefiting us because our guest lecturers coming from Lancaster and from Deakin, and in the study abroad program in the second year of the degree, our students will be benefiting from those facilities. Next slide. So the Deakin Cyber Research Centre has an annual conference, and we will be working this year to make this conference accessible to our students in Bandung. And I think that's a very exciting dimension. Next slide. So here are some of the flagship projects. There's a project called Cyber Ninjas, working with younger people with children to keep them safe. Cyber Fitness, a VPN work on authentication technologies, password alternatives. Next slide. So we recognize that for the future, we need to start by working with people who are today only at primary school or high school, because it's their future and they need to be cyber smart. Next slide. Authentication is a big part of cybersecurity, because if we can keep our identity secure, we can stop a lot of the penetrations. And if we're not careful with our identity, then it makes it very easy for people to take our identity and take our bank accounts and take our assets. Next slide. And that means we need to have the capacity to really critically evaluate how secure we are. So that's another area of research. Next slide. And one of the reasons that the group at Deakin is called the Research and Innovation Centre is that it's not just about being reactive to threats, but developing new technology that can help us with security. Next slide. So this is sort of an overview of the approach. It's not just about stopping penetration, which is important, or securing passwords or securing databases. It's about a whole range of things that together make us safer. Next slide. So you can certainly begin your program in DLI undergraduate, as you can in Lancaster and in Deakin, but there's a whole range of opportunities in future to go on and do masters and other, possibly a research PhD. Next slide. So we've got a whole ecosystem here built around cybersecurity with both universities for bringing to Bandung. Next slide. And next slide, please. So once again, the range of professional roles is includes some fairly obvious things like a cybersecurity analyst or a cyber threat analyst or an IT security engineer, but there's a whole other range of professional positions that involve the ability to work with people and educate them and to evaluate systems. Next slide. At Lancaster, they have the Cybersecurity Research Centre. I'm mentioning research at Deakin and at Lancaster because this drives the teaching, and this is where we benefit at Bandung at DLI because we have this foundation and also these researchers to draw upon who we will be encouraging to visit us. Next slide. So at Lancaster, their philosophical approach to research, as at Deakin, but I think Lancaster captures it very nicely, is that their research is system-based, but also interdisciplinary. It's grounded in the reality that people live and work in industry. It nurtures better responses and greater capacity, and it's research that has impact. Next slide. So it's really important that we understand the technology and train people in technology. But at the end of the day, our greatest vulnerability is people sharing passwords, private data, not because they recognize that they're being ill-disciplined, but because they're being tricked into giving away information which can help somebody, or they don't understand the vulnerabilities that are in their systems or in their work practices. We need to educate people broadly. Next slide. We need to understand how our overall systems work, how our network systems work, how our connection of devices work, and where the vulnerabilities are. Next slide. And we need to really be thinking of intergenerational growth and transfer. We need to work so that the generation of digital natives that are growing up now who will spend every vital area of their life having an online component with connected devices understand the risks and understand the sort of behavior and protocols they need to do to keep themselves safe. Next slide. And we need to partner with industry. So Lancaster does this, Deakin does this, and we will need to be doing this in Bandung with DLI. But the fact that we've got this foundation with Lancaster and Deakin makes it easier for us to draw upon that existing expertise and to bring something of value to our industry partners in Bandung and beyond. Next slide. So some of the projects that the Lancaster Cyber Centre does, CyberWorks, which works with business. Next slide. And Dish, which is a digital security hub. It's an ecosystem, a startup ecosystem, which is working with Manchester City Council, which is the next biggest city to Lancaster, and provides a facility for people to engage in entrepreneurial startup activities. Next slide. As Eddie mentioned, AI is increasingly part of the challenge we face, but also part of the solution. So red teaming is when you play the role of the bad guy. When you're red team, you pretend that you're a hacker, you pretend that you're a criminal, you try and do penetration. That's a key part of learning. That's why the background, the virtual background that we all have here is our cybersecurity lab, and that is set up to be divided into two between a blue team and a red team, so we can practice defense, but also offense. Much like sports, much like football, recognizing how to defend, but also how an attacker thinks is important. Next slide. And he mentioned quantum. Quantum is increasingly, that technology is increasingly important in terms of identity verification. It gives us technology, or it has potentially, it already does, but it can go much further in giving us things that are much more secure than passwords or even just biometric security. It's a way of generating unique, uncrackable codes that can keep us safer. Next slide. This is real technology that Lancaster has developed, so it's not future technology, it's already commercialized. Another of their projects is the Northwest, because Lancaster is the northwest of England, Northwest Security Connect commercialization. So it's an established business engagement protocol. Next slide. Okay, to finish off our Bachelor of Cybersecurity, this is from our website, but just to sort of recap how this work at Lancaster and at Deakin relates to what we're doing in Bandung. Next slide. So we have a 3-year degree program for those who come in directly into first year. Some students, Year 12 graduates, will need to do an 8th-month university preparation program also at our campus, also in English, which will boost your English capacity and your critical thinking and communications capacity. But the degree itself is 3 years. It's accredited in the UK and Australia, and it's recognized as equivalent to S2 in Indonesia by the Indonesian government. So it draws half and half from Deakin and from Lancaster in terms of their cybersecurity offerings. So it's the best of both. It's a really rich blend. Next slide. So that means that we're offering a dual degree. It's a Lancaster degree and a Deakin degree. It reflects what has been done at Lancaster and Deakin that's accredited by professional associations in the UK and in Australia. It makes it easy to work there. It makes it easy to go on and work with those companies working in Indonesia. It makes it easy to go on and do postgraduate work as well. And these are both, as we've chosen cybersecurity at DLI because it's a strength of Lancaster and a strength of Deakin. They're in the top rankings, not just as universities, but in terms of universities teaching cybersecurity. Next slide. So year one, we've got a combination of modules, as they say in Lancaster, or units, as we say in Deakin, from both universities. A lot of them are broad, basic modules, and some of them are specialist modules. So real world practices for cybersecurity obviously is a specialist module to think about cybersecurity, but you need basic literacy, so software development, computer science, digital systems, even the associated maths. Next slide. In year two, cybersecurity students will do some of the same units that computer science students will do. There is some overlap, so that means there's some flexibility for students to change direction if they wish to because of that overlap. But it's building on basic literacy about computer science, but with a particular focus on cybersecurity. And it's not just technical subjects. So we're dealing with project management. The capstone is a reference to industry engagement. Next slide. And finally, year three, and I should say in year two, there's a study abroad component. So students can spend a semester in Lancaster and or a semester in Deakin and do some of these units there, but paying Indonesian DLI fees as opposed to paying British or Australian fees, which is, I think, a really good offering. And in year three, there's a project orientation, there's an industry placement orientation. The capstone module is about an industry placement project. And there's very practical things like ethical hacking, network forensics, which is about real world engagement with industry. Okay, that's really a quick overview, both of what we're doing at DLI, but the idea is to show you how it's rooted in what's being done at Deakin and at Lancaster. And those are deep and broad roots, some of the best people working on cybersecurity anywhere in the world, and well-developed teaching, but based on research. And I think that makes it extra rich. So our promise at DLI, what we're committed to doing is making international education, transformational international education, accessible, both in terms of location, but also in terms of price. We certainly are committed to the idea of international education abroad as well, so the study abroad program and the opening up for postgraduate studies, but also bringing the faculty from Lancaster and Deakin to Bandung so that we have that real sense of international engagement, and bringing our academic faculty from Bandung to the UK and Australia as well, and engaging them in joint research projects. That means that although we're starting for the very first time this year in the September intake, it's built on decades of work. It's got a strong foundation. Okay, enough from me. Thanks very much, Bulali.
Thank you, Professor Barton, for the eye-opening presentation. So if I can sum up a little bit, Deakin courses and Lancaster courses equal rewarding careers. And one of the values offered is graduate employability. Being industry ready, you'll also develop thinking skill and hand-on skills, especially if you pursue career in cybersecurity with the home campuses, quality education, and highly extensive and also intensive researches, and which will be, again, the standard of DLI. And you don't need to go far because DLI brings the best of both worlds. And here at DLI, you can get international education which is accessible and affordable. Thank you. I guess we can continue with the question and answer session. Should I give the floor to Ibu Umu?
Thank you, Pak Greg and Pak Edi. And then for the Q&A session, so everyone can just drop your message on the chat. I already share with you, and then we will try to answer for the question. Okay, so anyone, if you want to ask about the Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia, about cybersecurity and about the career, also the program, you just drop your message on the chat. All right, so you can put your message on the Q&A box because I thought that the participant cannot do on the chat. So there will be like the Q&A button, and then you just chat your question over there. All right, you got the question here from Davin Timothy Ho. What are the potential risks and benefits that quantum computing poses? Maybe Pa Edi or Pa Greg can answer this first question. What are the potential risks and benefits that quantum computing poses?
Pak Edi, probably. Would you like to answer the first question, Pak?
Okay, so thank you very much, Davin Timothy. Okay. So quantum, you're asking about the quantum computing. What is the risk? What is the basic? What's good and bad thing in the future for us? It is a new way of computing. It's basically it is going to be a more powerful than what we already have at the moment. So if we have a computer, let's say you have a PC at home, your computer can crack a combination of your code, basically, normally, with our technology today, it takes, let's say, 10 years or 20 years, But quantum computing, the way they do solving the problem is slightly different than that normal digital computing. So they will do much faster because it is based on quantum. So in a way, they can crack permutation, all the combination that is possible in seconds. And hence, the way you protect your data, you cannot rely on today's technology. Let's say you have a password, 10 letters password, that can be easily cracked with quantum computing. So you need another way of preserving or representing your data. So that is the risk. So everything we know today is about protecting the data based on our current digital technology has to change, because there's a new way of people doing, solving the security. So that's the easiest way of looking at it. That's one way. So let's say that's a bad. But once again, every bad thing, if you look at on the other side, it might be an opportunity for you. So there's going to be a new technology based on, once again, the quantum. So we will have another way of protecting the data. So that's a good thinking. So it's an opportunity for us. So for example, we have this, again, the new technology called the blockchain. Yeah? They might give you another solution. Yeah. So when we see something as a bad, it might just not be 100% bad. So it can be, it's even an opportunity for us. So for those who's doing cybersecurity in the future, it is a good opportunity for you to learn a new way of handling data. That's why one way of doing it, because everyone is going to have a computing, quantum computing. I think more recently, about a week or 2 weeks ago, NVIDIA just released a new personal supercomputer, which can be afforded by everyone, 50 or 60 million rupiah. So everyone now can have a supercomputing at home. That also changed in the way we protect the data. So many things changes, but it's a good thing. I mean, the way you protect the data is going to be different, but you will have the best opportunity to learn it, comparing with the old guy who's doing it with the old technology. So I'll look at it as a good opportunity for you.
All right, thank you, Pak Edi. Is it the question and already answered? So, who's the
So
answer
maybe
is
Pak Greg can add some more into that.
Cool.
maybe Pak Greg
Well,
can add some more.
yeah, thank you. I'll start with the second question, but it actually relates to the first question because
All right,
what type of data do
the
hackers
hackers to
steal?
steal. Yeah.
I mean, let's think about what sort of hackers we have and what sort of data they're after. So there's a lot of basic data which is obtained through data breaches. We hear about them all the time, and even the most famous, well-respected companies and government agencies suffer from data breaches. Where does that data go? Why do people steal it? Well, one source is that hackers will take personal data and then they'll, for example, credit card details, birth date, address, other identifying details, and they will put it on the dark web. The dark web is the web that we access. At least it's part of the web that we access, the internet we access, except that what we know of the internet is what we can find out when we do a search with Google, and Google is the dominant search engine or other search engines. And that's done by using web bots that go automatically looking for information. So when you ask a question, they have the information, but those web bots only go maybe 6 pages deep. The dark web is pages and pages below 6 pages that Google doesn't know about because the web bots don't go there. But that's where criminals and terrorists and international espionage players go to do transactions. So they go to find people to do criminal acts by going to pages that are deep down in the web, but otherwise accessible if you have the right URL, and to exchange things. So there are whole sort of virtual stores not selling things for your house or your car or food or pet food or something, but selling personal details. You can buy 100,000 credit card details on the dark web from a number of different places. And so hackers will sell that sort of stuff. That's kind of low level. It's like I put a cardboard box out the front of my house in Bandung or some plastic, and somebody comes along and picks it up because they can get a very small amount of money from that cardboard, but it's the basis of their life. So there's hackers who work like that, taking just regular information, but they can sell it en masse and make some money. But of course, the other kind of hacking that we need to be, it's all related, but hackers are often after individuals who have key information, which can enable them to get into secure systems. So if you post on LinkedIn where you work, what you do, you're already giving some information away. But then somebody may target Pak Edi because Pak Edi has access, or some of Pak Edi's friends have access to certain things, and they go looking for ways that can penetrate. So that penetration is not just brute force. Quantum computing means you can do more brute force penetration, but it's also about taking little bits of information, putting them together, and then figuring out how to what sort of password somebody's using, or how to put a phone call through. I can pretend that I'm Pak Eddie because I have enough information about Pak Eddie that I can make a credible case for convincing somebody else that I am in fact Pak Eddie. And that's where, as computer power increases, and quantum computing is about massively increasing power, parallel processing, stuff that was too hard to make use of suddenly becomes much easier. So, I mean, this is a sort of simple statement of fact. It's not a judgment call, but large nations around the world take lots of information because they think it might be valuable. So the Chinese, both commercially and for the government, take large amounts of information, put it in storehouses, because they think maybe one day analyzing that data, doing that large data analyst, can give them valuable insights into markets, into corporations, into individuals. At the moment, there's large data houses information which is too slow and expensive to process. But as computing power increases, quantum computing is a big step up, a sudden paradigm shift in that ability. You can take massive amounts of data, analyze it quite quickly and therefore economically, and get value out of it. So, I mean, that could be very, very good for things like detecting cancer or understanding DNA sequencing in medical research. So it's lots of positive attributes, satellite imagery, figuring out how we can make crops safe from climate change, etc. But it can also give you a picture of private lives and corporations. That means you can do criminal things there because of the ability to process that data. So I think we shouldn't take the view that some data is not valuable and some data is valuable. We should take the view that, first of all, we need to protect our personal identity by always using multi-factor identification, not simply using a simple password, not repeating passwords, and being careful about giving a commercial site. I want to win, for example, something from a site. It asks my birth date, it asks my address, it asks whatever, name of my pet. All of this stuff can be used for passwords. We should avoid giving that information away because for some hackers, maybe not the guy who hacks my system or uses that information, but he on-sells it to somebody else who uses it. And that's the dilemma. We're dealing with a whole ecosystem of transactions of data, and somebody there will pay some value for that data. So what sort of data do hackers want? Everything, because somebody will pay for it, and somebody will have the capacity to process it.
Okay, thank you, Pak Greg, for the answer. And we still have another question here. For the animals, I think maybe you better to put your name letter for the certificate. The
Could
question
be
is
anonymous
how,
hacker if
yeah,
they want to put
how to know if we have an alliance with a white hacker, gray hacker, or black hacker. So, Pak Edi or Pak Greg maybe can answer this.
I think Park Eddie could answer it, but there are professional services that can give us white hackers, and we should go through professional services rather than just some random guy who offers services. But Pak Eddie?
Okay. So I think it's connected also to the second question here from Deakin. How do AI and machine learning impact cybersecurity defense and threat detection? Yeah. Most students think that the cybersecurity profession is just sitting in front of computer doing the programming and hacking. That's not totally true, especially in the future. Let's say in the next 2 years, the one who's gonna do the hacking is not human. Yeah, as you mentioned, remember that in the future you will be looking at many bots who's doing the hacking. So it's not a human being who's doing the hacking. It's gonna be a machine who's doing the hacking. So your job mostly as a professional is to safeguard from all the machine who's doing the hacking. So the way you do that, most obvious way is you also create a bot, a machine who is going to be preventing the bots from another hacking. So your job, imagine in the future, you will be able to create your own AI machine who's going to be doing preventing from the hacker. So it's going to be your job in the future as a cybersecurity. You're creating your own AI machine. Yeah, that is what the future cybersecurity will be doing. So you basically you can work as your profession, one person, or you can work as a company. So you can own a company and then you say, well, I have this machine AI and you can prevent from this kind of attack. Because creating an AI in the future, it's much easier than today. Today, you need a lot of money to create an AI. ChatGPT is billions of dollars. But in the near future, we as individual can create our own. The biggest and the most important thing in creating AI and protecting the data is we need the data. So we need the data to learn, to teach the machine, in this case, the AI bot. Now, how do you get the data from? That's where the quantum computing plays come in. Yeah, because they can help us to generate lots of simulated data, because every day today data is expensive, right? As you might know that our ChatGPT today, they have already used up most of the internet data. We need more data. So they're hungry from the data. Therefore, we created a simulated data. We need a big computer. That's where the quantum computers come in. Therefore, all of you as a cybersecurity profession, you can generate the data, so capture the data from everyday life, create your own bots, create your own AI. You sell it as a profession or as a company or maybe a hardware, maybe a software. That's how you generate income. That's how you become a profession. Once again, as I mentioned before, it is not on Earth only. So we are looking at the future. You're looking at the space, the orbits. You look at the orbit up there. There's lots of flying, instruments which sense data from one to another. That also something that you as a cybersecurity profession will need to take care of, which means a good potential, a good professions. In this case, is a source of income for all of you. So it's a very bright future. But once again, we need you as a young generation to learn this new technology. But in this case, the institution like DLI will provide you with all the facilities for you to learn all these new ways of handling a new problems, because the new problems will need to be handled in a new way. You cannot use most of the past concept to this new coming technology. We need the new young generation. We need the new ways of approaching. But, well, the institution will provide you with the necessary infrastructure for you to go deep and obviously get the nuts, the nuggets of the cybersecurity.
Heidi, thank you. Can you please, because now the threats are rising and then there are people with different roles. Some become the white hat, so-called hackers, and then some become gray hat hackers, and some with very malicious intentions become black hat hackers. So how do we know which one is which? So how do we know that this group of people are white hat hackers? So they only, they want to improve security and then fixing problems. But some are gray hat hackers because they do things, but they do not do that in a way that meet ethical standards. And there are also like these groups of people who are black hat hackers with definitely doing things for personal gain. Is
Maybe I
there
can
a way to identify? Yes, Pak Greg?
maybe I can sort of try and answer the question, but Bu Ade. I mean, I think a place to start with this question is, why is the question being asked? Why do we need to identify black or grey or white hackers? Well, we would use white hackers, we'd employ them to test our systems penetration testing. And we would want to be sure that the people who are doing that are actually legitimate. They're not sort of nefarious actors who have a sort of a second life where they take that data and they use the information they gain. So that requires a lot of security checks and it requires a lot of industry knowledge, and that's part of what graduates will be developing. So some may become, as Eddie was saying earlier, people who are involved in penetration exercises or red teaming, where they test their own organization's systems. But at a certain point, we want to say, okay, we've tested our systems, we think we're pretty good. We want to hire some outsiders to test our systems just to see whether we've missed something. Obviously, it's very important that people we hire are white hackers, not grey or black hackers. Otherwise, we create problems in trying to make things more secure. And that requires a deep knowledge of the industry, of the personalities, of the players, of the technologies used. It requires specialist help. So you don't want to ask your average CEO or manager to go and sign a contract for penetration testing with white hackers because they may get it wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
need educated professionals with industry experience, and that's what
Right.
we're doing with cybersecurity.
Right. And of course, here at DLI, we integrate everything with, laws and ethical standards sidebar. So our
Yeah,
students know.
we need to have our credibility, not only our data, but our credibility is important. And this is true for our companies too. If we lose confidence in our taxi or car app or our food app, then we stop using them and go somewhere else. We use a competitor. There's lots of competitors. So companies, individuals need to be prepared, protect not just their data, but their reputations. And
Yes.
the only way we can do this consistently is to be professional in our standards. And so one area of this industry will be developing professional standards and testing and educating people on why they need to be professional.
Right.
That's it's really about human behavior as well as technology, but it requires professionals who have that knowledge, and that's
Yeah.
one area for our graduates.
Thank you, Professor Craig. I couldn't agree more. Yes, Bu Umu?
Okay, thank you, Pak Greg, Pak Edi, and Bu Ade. That's answered the question number 3 about the white, gray, and black hacker. Also, the question number 4 about the AI and machine learning impact. So we still have another question. This is the recently TikTok was temporarily banned in the US due to the certain organization based in China. Theoretically, how can hackers get into such a large scale up? Because assuming that their company has component cybersecurity team. And then of at this organization based in China caused TikTok to be banned due to the US government concluding that they were stealing data from over 178 million Americans using TikTok. All right.
Can
Who
I
can?
can I jump in
Okay.
with a quick
Maybe
answer?
Greg can
Yeah.
answer
All right
that.
then.
So
Please.
30% of American adults use TikTok, but for young Americans, it's more like 60%. So, more than half the population using TikTok. TikTok is owned by ByteDance. In America, it's a American company, but it's owned ultimately by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company. Chinese law, which is transparent in the sense that this is not a secret, this is published fact. Chinese law requires that any corporation in China, any company needs to be able to give their data to the Chinese government and the Chinese military if they're requested. So all of that TikTok data that's with ByteDance, although there's talk about it being firewalled from Chinese ByteDance, it doesn't take a hacker. It just takes a request from the Chinese government, and the People's Liberation Army have whole cyber teams. So they don't have to hack. They just have to say, "Give us your data." Now that doesn't mean that it's a big problem. It just means we need to be realistic. Any data you give to TikTok, and it's also true for Facebook, and it's true for YouTube, and a whole bunch of other social media. In the case of the American firms, maybe it gets hacked. In the case of ByteDance, the Chinese government has a direct import if it wishes. Um, Given that information is already readily available, we talked about the dark web and personal data. It probably isn't that sort of critical because that data is readily available anyway. But we need to understand the politics as well as the technology of cybersecurity. And this is not an argument against Chinese products or Chinese systems, but we just need to be realistic and at the moment this is not a problem. If we were in a situation of warfare, perhaps it becomes a problem. But Eddie is talking about space systems. That includes the satellites that run our daily lives, transfer our information, give us our TV, and show us how to find our way across Bandung or Jakarta. That's based on space technology, based on satellites. And in a time of conflict, those systems will become unreliable and go down. So there's another whole dimension. We haven't got time to discuss it tonight, but there's another whole dimension which is to do with international relations and politics. And for many people, we don't have to worry about that. But if you're working in government, you're working in defense, you absolutely need to think about it because that's part of the broader, longer term security environment we face.
Thank you, Prof. Greg. Well, probably Pak Edi will add some more information about this.
Yes, I'm answering a question from Shireen. I think it's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sharon, yeah,
How do you?
Shireen
Yeah,
was
I
asked.
will read first.
Yeah.
How do you see the relationship between human cybersecurity expert and AI in the future? Will AI completely replace certain roles, or will it complement human skills? Okay,
Yeah.
Pak Edi, please.
Yeah. It's a good question. Yeah. This question is asked by many other experts. For example, let's just pick one profession that I think 5 or 6 years ago was in high demand. Graphic designer, let's say, or web designer. Yeah, it was a very high demand. But now with the advance of AI, say, where do they go? Do you think they still exist? Do you think they still needed or not? Because not even a novice programmer or the one who does not know how to program now can create web. Now then can create graphics, good graphics. So where all these graphic designers? The same with cybersecurity. You might ask the same questions. Okay. Well, if I learn all this cybersecurity technical knowledge, would it be still needed in the next 2 or 3 years? So that is a good question. But the answer to that question is, don't worry about the AI. The AI will not replace your expertise. They will not replace your job. The one who's going to be replacing your job is the one who knows how to use AI. Yeah. So the graphic designer will become still a good graphic designer, but he will be replaced by the one who's good at graphic designer, but also good at using AI. So the same goes with the cybersecurity. Well, if you are just a moderate cybersecurity, it will be replaced by the machine because those routine tasks will not need you anymore. It will be replaced by the machine. But you as an expert in cybersecurity will become more productive with the machine. So imagine years ago you doing some work without computing. Now you have computing, you become more productive. So it's the same with you, I hope. So that is what is going to be taught in, obviously, in the class. How would you become an expert in cybersecurity? But you must also know how to handle the machine, in this case, the AI. Maybe you need also be able to create your own AI. So I think you will become more productive. So yes, it will complement your job in whatever career you are, because you will see now the AI replacing most of the routine normal tasks. Then it's going to carry on. In the future, more and more specific tasks will also be replaced. But once again, you don't have to worry. Human can adapt, yeah, and then you will become more productive. So I encourage you to learn more about cybersecurity and any other technical aspect in cybersecurity, but do not also forget to learn the AI and quantum computing, because those are the tools that you're going to be needing for you to become more productive.
Okay, thank you, Pak Edi, for the answer. So, is there any question from the participants? So, if there is no question, so I think I will give some merchandise. We will give the participant one T-shirt of Deakin University, Lancaster University, Indonesia for you. If you can just answer my question on the Q&A box, just we already shared about the DLI, about the cybersecurity career, and about how to understand more in AI and computing. It's only the simple question. How many program that we offer in computing? You just write down in there for our dual degree. So hopefully you will understand about our dual degree in computing. Just typing on the Q&A, and then I hope you will get the t-shirt for you. Just typing what the dual degree that we offer for the computing. No, you just write down what the program for dual degree for our computing. We have the business and computing, right? And then I just asked about the computing. Just write down what is it the dual degree of that we offer it.
The names of the programs or just the numbers?
The names,
Oh,
the
okay.
names of the program. I think it's very simple. So you already learned here right now, and then another thing. So just write down the dual degree, the names of dual degree that we offer on our computing.
Probably you can give some clues.
Okay, so I think we've got the one who answered is cybersecurity and computer science. Okay, we've got one. Is there anyone who want to try to answer? If not, I think we already have one. It's just like you have like two, right? This is only one, or you can just break down. I think no one can answer it. Okay, so actually we have like cybersecurity and computer science dual degree actually. So okay, so this is for Arian. Congratulations and thank you for all the participants who attend this webinar, and thank you for Prof. Greg, Pak Edi, Ibu Ade, and everyone here with the DLI team. And we will send you the certificate for the end of this webinar. And then don't forget to contact our team, Priscilla, if you want to ask more question and then know more about the Deakin Lancaster University. And then you can also visit us, right, Priscilla? So everybody just can contact her for the next future if you want to visit our campus. Thank you so much. And then I will close this webinar. Have a great long weekend, and then we will have long holiday. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you,
And thank you
everyone,
very
for
much,
coming to our
everyone.
webinar. Have a long weekend.
Yeah, you too.